With me now, Trump campaign senior advisor Stephen Miller. Stephen, welcome back to the program. We're glad to have you here. So you probably just heard my colleague Blake Berman. We have been covering this all afternoon. Will Lewandowski be at least suspended, if not fired?
Well, first of all, it's good to be back, and thank you for having me on. And I don't think that your first choice or my first choice would be to be having this conversation today. We'd like to be talking about Islamic terrorism and how to stop it, about the death of manufacturing jobs in America, and about how to change our foreign policy to keep America out of endless wars in the Middle East. But I'm glad to have the opportunity to address this because there's nothing worse in this country, in our criminal justice system, than when someone is falsely accused of a crime. And that is a terrible thing. And so what I'd like to do, if you'd give me the chance...
Stephen, I do want to give you a chance. I just want to show, when you say falsely accused, just so we all have the same information, I just want to show this new surveillance coming in from the Jupiter, Florida Police Department.
Yeah, I'm glad that you are, because it relates, and I hope that people will, I hope you'll show the video as I'm actually explaining what I'm about to say, because this is very important.
Okay, let me just say what we see here, because I know you don't have it right in front of you, the screen that I'm seeing, but so we have it spotlit. That is to say, everybody can see Donald Trump there, white shirt, red tie, and Michelle Fields right next to him. And you can see in this kind of spotlight where Michelle Fields is being grabbed. But I want to hear what you have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, I'm glad to have the opportunity because this is very important. A false accusation is one of the worst things you can do in our society. Ms. Fields issued a statement to the entire world that said the following, and I'm going to read from it, and you usually don't read from pieces of paper while you're doing interviews, but I want to make sure that I get the words exactly right because this is important. This is what Ms. Fields said to the entire world about Mr. Lewandowski. Quote, this is what she said, that Mr. Lewandowski, quote, yanked me down, quote, aggressively tried to pull me to the ground, quote, tried to forcefully throw reporters to the ground, quote. Nobody watching that video can say that those statements are honest and accurate.
The tweet that I followed from her was that she almost fell after the force of being grabbed. And I think more importantly, Stephen, Lewandowski says he never saw her, never met her. In fact, he tweeted out to Michelle Fields, "You are totally delusional. I never touched you. As a matter of fact, I never even met you."
Well, I don't believe. Yeah.
But that came from his account.
Hold on. Looking at the video, and again, this is very important to be clear about this. Looking at the video, no person can say that those quotes I just read, quote, yanked me down, aggressively tried to pull me to the ground, quote, tried to forcefully throw reporters to the ground, can say that those are honest or accurate statements. And think about that for a second. What kind of person would send a statement to the entire world claiming that they were yanked down, pulled to the ground, aggressively, forcefully, thrown, yanked, pulled down to the ground, thrown to the ground, and nobody watching the video can say that is honest, discrediting entirely
Stephen, where did you get that? I'm just curious because I follow everybody on Twitter.
Yeah, that is the statement that was issued by Ms. Fields to the media weeks ago about the incident that she alleged. Weeks ago. I'm reading word for word for word from the statement.
Let me ask you something, though.
But this is important, though. Nobody watching that video, Deirdre, I mean, nobody watching the video can say that that statement is accurate, discrediting her completely, discrediting her story completely. And I want to make one other point. If you're accusing somebody of, quote, aggressively trying to pull me to the ground, trying to forcefully throw reporters to the ground, yanking me down, if you're accusing somebody of those things, and then here we are doing CSI analysis of the video and spotlighting and slow-mo and one frame per second.
What about him
this is an important point, though. This is an important point.
Make it, because I have a couple more questions.
No, I appreciate it. But if you're accusing somebody of those things, and then at the back end, you're taking a video and you're slowing it down and spotlighting it in one frame per second and high def and zoom in, if you have to do all those things, then by definition, your claim is false. By definition, your claim is false, because if what you claim happened, it would be facially obvious.
I just think it's an incident that obviously has caused both sides a lot of anguish, and I think, honestly, if I were Corey Lewandowski, I would have said, hey, listen, I'm sorry, these things get rough. We told you Trump, whatever it was that was true for him, but the fact that he said he called her delusional. So when you talk about somebody's reputation, to say that a reporter is delusional, that's not exactly fair either, and says he never met her and never touched her, but then in fact we see that. So I hear what you're saying on the Michelle side, but I'm also saying that Corey Lewandowski did not represent equally and fairly what happens.
Right. I mean, but of course, of course you're delusional if you say that you were thrown to the ground, that you were yanked down, that you were aggressively tried to pull me to the ground, if none of those things happened. It is striking to me that nobody is comparing the video to her original statement. Making a criminal charge is a serious thing.
Stephen, I want to ask you,
every word matters. And when you say things that are manifestly false in an accusation, that discredits you, it discredits your story, and it is profoundly unfair to Mr. Lewandowski, to his family, and most importantly, it is unfair to the thousands of people who are levying accurate claims in real cases of battery when you have someone levying a false accusation.
Let me ask you there, and this is completely rumor, this is why I just want to address it head on with you. Some people said that Ivanka Trump, so Trump's daughter, who is well known herself as a business person, successful, a wife, a mother, actually asked her father to let Lewandowski go. Apparently he said no. Is that true?
I don't know anything about any of that. I am a policy advisor to the campaign. It would not be appropriate for me to even comment or speculate about such things. But I do think it's important to mention that when it comes to Mr. Trump and his record on women's issues, that there's no better way to judge a man than by the family that he raises. And Mr. Trump has raised an extraordinary family and an extraordinary daughter who is a role model to young girls across this country, and I think that is an absolutely wonderful thing.